So why was I able to learn Spanish fast and you've been struggling for a while to do it? I'll be honest, the main reason was the way that I decided to learn, my methodology, and I think it's also worth noting that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay as well if you've spent a long time trying to learn Spanish and you just feel like you haven't made a ton of progress, but I promise that you actually have, and the good thing is that if you just change the way you practice a bit, change your methodology slightly, you've already got such a good base, you've already know a ton of vocabulary and words, you've got a good foundation, and now we can build on that and help you take your Spanish to the next level and be able to speak confidently and actually be able to communicate with native speakers just a couple of months from now. So here's what I likely did different than you. By the way, my most detailed explanation of my methodology, the 3 strategies that I focused on and what you need to focus on as well, my clearest roadmap to learning Spanish and becoming fluent within a year is all in my free training. I'd highly encourage you to check it out. All you've got to do is click on the link in this description to sign up for that free training today. You'll also learn more about my full Spanish program at the end. If it's something that you're interested in, you get a special discount and a couple of bonuses as well just for signing up for that free training. So click on the link in the description and I promise you'll get a ton out of it. Even if you're not interested in my program, just check out that free training for the most in-depth tutorial on my methodology and how you can become fluent in Spanish this year. So I'll be honest, the first thing that I did was I figured if I want to be able to speak this language, I want to focus on vocabulary that's useful to me. And I also looked at if I really want to be able to have conversations, what do I need to learn? The verbs. The verbs is the hardest part of Spanish, and I obviously can't have a conversation if I'm not able to speak in the present, the past, the future, the conditional, learn what the subjunctive is, how to use verbs like gustar. If I want to be able to say, I go to work, one thing is being able to say, I go to work. Another thing is being able to tell someone, I went to work yesterday, I'm going to work tomorrow, I'm on my way to work, I will go, I would have gone to work, I didn't go to work. All of these different ways to conjugate a verb, super important. There's no way you can have a conversation without them. That was the number one thing that I noticed. Well, there were 2 things really, but that was the main thing that I saw that classes were getting wrong. Traditional Spanish courses, whether they be in high school or college, I saw people go through these programs and study Spanish for years, but come out of it not being able to speak in the future, not being able to talk about what they would have liked to have done, all of these different ways to conjugate verbs. And they had a lot of vocabulary, but that was the second thing I noticed was it wasn't always useful vocabulary. It wasn't vocabulary that sometimes native speakers would use. For example, I didn't learn the alphabet or the days of the week or the numbers for a long time. I was already able to have fluent conversations in Spanish without even being able to count to 100 or spell my name. Eventually I learned that stuff later on, but I didn't see the point of wasting my time on that stuff in the beginning because I didn't see myself using it in the conversation. Now the other thing is I think the way that I practiced was different than most people because I didn't do a lot of endless exercises or Duolingo stuff. Not that Duolingo is a bad thing, but I would use Duolingo more as a supplement. But my main source of learning and practicing was number 1, just trying to translate whatever I thought and whatever I did to Spanish as much as I could without just giving myself horrible headaches all day. And I would just try to immerse myself and speak to people. So I would put my phone in Spanish, my car was in Spanish somehow. The video games that I would play, I'd try to put them in Spanish. I try to find native speakers to talk to and text. Texting is huge practice. But the main thing that my practice revolved around was speaking as much as possible and forming my own sentences, whether I was speaking out loud, which is the most important thing you can do, or I was just trying to text people and figure out how to text in Spanish and form my own sentences. That's what you should be doing in your day-to-day. Figure out ways that you can translate Spanish throughout your day, live your life, think your thoughts in Spanish, say the things that you are doing and thinking in Spanish out loud. I promise within just a week or 2 of doing this every day, you will notice a huge difference. Now, the other reason that I might have been able to learn a little bit faster than a normal person was I definitely had some ADHD that would help me kind of hyper focus on it, which is why at the beginning of this video too, I mentioned that it's definitely okay to take breaks because I remember I would do sessions where I would hyper focus on Spanish and then I might even take days or weeks sometimes where I didn't practice at all, and that's okay. In fact, sometimes I think that helps you because I think it's good to just try to live your life in Spanish as much as possible, and whenever you really need to study a specific topic, sit down, hyper focus on it, and then just just practice it. Just try to use it in your day-to-day. Don't obsess over studying an hour, 2 hours a day. Sometimes it's better to just study when you feel like studying, when you're motivated to do it, and the rest of your time just spent trying to use the language whenever it's possible to do so. I think that's a really important thing. Trying to do a little bit every day, even if it's in the back of your head, just trying to translate in Spanish, it goes a long way. Now, the last thing I'll mention is, in the beginning, I tried to be perfect, but when I really started to get a lot better at Spanish and faster was when I stopped trying to be so perfect. So if you are a perfectionist, and I find this a lot of times with my students, where if I get like an engineer in my program or even a lawyer, these are people that really want specific ways to do things. They want everything to be perfect. Those are the people that struggle the most. And in fact, it's the people that are a bit more flexible. They don't care if they're wrong. They're definitely not afraid to just say whatever they want to say without worrying about it being perfect or not. Those are the people that end up being perfect. It's the same recommendation I give to people who want to do kind of what I do, where they teach and make videos online. Instead of trying to make 5 perfect videos, I tell people to try and make just 30 or 50 videos, even if they're not perfect. Because by the time you get to that 30th, 40th, 50th video, that 50th video is going to be a million times better than that person's 5 perfect videos, because you got so much more practice. You learn from your mistakes. The same thing can be applied to Spanish. Try to make as many mistakes as possible, because you're gonna learn from a mistake a lot better than you're gonna learn from trying to be perfect. I know that might sound cliche, but when it comes to language learning, it's probably the most important tip that I can give you, as long as you're speaking and trying to form sentences throughout your day. Hopefully these tips just helped you. If you want more tips on this, which are kind of not Spanish lessons per se, they're more just mentality tips, which I think is probably even more important, let me know in the comments, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to check out that free training for my 3 strategies on how to accelerate your Spanish learning and become fluent within a year. And you'll hear more about my full Spanish program at the end with a special discount if you're interested in signing up for it. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video. See you in the next one. Ciao.